Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Scenic Route Astrology. My name is Makayla, and today we're talking about the Venus retrograde cycle that's happening for about 4.5 months. Venus has entered Capricorn on November 5th, and she will be staying in Capricorn until March 6th when she enters Aquarius. And in the middle of that cycle, she's going to go retrograde and conjunct Pluto 3 times in Capricorn. And she's also going to begin a new Venus cycle when she conjuncts the Sun in January. So this cycle for Venus is actually very instrumental to the energy that we're entering into next year and the themes that we're going to be initiating for ourselves. This is a personal planet in our chart and as a transiting planet. So this is affecting us on a very personal level. And when she makes a conjunction to a powerful planet like Pluto that can often crumble things down, destroy things so that they get rebuilt, this is a really big energy for us to pay attention to. So in this video, I want to break down what Venus is resembling for us as transiting in Capricorn, where to look in your chart so you can see the kind of themes that will be coming up for you, and what these conjunctions to Pluto and the new star conjunction to the Sun might come up and might feel as themes for you in this 4.5 month period. Venus is a personal planet in our chart that resembles the way that we relate to ourselves and the way that we relate to others. Okay. And she will very much be grounded on our own sense of value, our personal value, and where we have resources. Do we have security and safety within our resources? How do we bring about our own inner sense of relationship or self-worth? And how do we mirror that in our relationships with other people? And what type of people and partnerships do we bring in because of this inner sense of value that we've established within ourselves? And so it doesn't matter what sign your Venus is in your natal chart, like that will always resemble you personally. Your natal chart will represent the experiences that you're having. But as a transit, Venus in Capricorn is a transit, she's going to bring up the themes of Capricorn in your chart, okay? And the house that Capricorn is on the cusp of relates to the environment where this energy plays out. Okay, so if this is showing up in your second house, if your second house is Capricorn, for instance, this could very much be about your resources, your money, and directly related to your values and your self-worth, because it's a house in the natural zodiac that is ruled by Venus. If Capricorn is on the 10th house cusp in your chart, then this could have to do with your work in the world, a career shift, a complete entirely change in the way that you've been viewing the work that you do in the world, and the power that you hold in your job, for instance, or the power dynamics that are showing up in your career. Okay. Or this could be about the way that you are emotionally expressing yourself to other people, or not emotionally expressing yourself to other people. Okay, so Venus in Capricorn, she wants structure. She wants to build a foundation around finances, around money, around her own values, her own sense of self-worth. She wants to build strong foundations on partnerships. Okay, and if those things are shaky right now, or they might be up for review, you might be feeling like these things are starting to like ruminate in your subconscious and they're coming up and you're thinking about them more. It's because Venus now wants to have a really firm footing ground, okay, to build these dynamics on. And she's in it for the long haul, okay, because the Capricorn archetype is an archetype that needs routine, that takes things, for the longevity, okay? It builds things over time. Capricorn archetype has an affinity with Saturn, okay? And so anything with the Saturn archetype, it will just take a while for us to grow, to climb up the mountain, if you will, because Capricorn represents the sea goat that climbs the mountain. There is a importance around boundaries with Venus and Capricorn, okay, and emotional boundaries, for instance. Just because Capricorn is actually a very emotional sign. It's on the Cancer axis, okay? Cancer, Capricorn are on the same axis, where Cancer is like our inner emotional reality, which makes us feel safe and secure. And then that is what we project out into the world, Capricorn, how we show up and meet other people with that. And it's important to understand Cancer in this whole dynamic, because we're actually going to need to reach into Cancer's ability to have empathy during these next couple of months during this transit, okay? Because I have a feeling, in a sense, that it will show up differently for every person. It just totally depends on where this is happening in your chart. But I can talk about the themes. And I feel like there will be a lot of themes for us that we see collectively and then also individually, where our emotional security, if you will, or our ability to have emotional boundaries, if you will, get challenged by Pluto, okay? Where Pluto is going to want to bring things up that you haven't wanted to look at for a really long time. You know, Pluto brings us into the underworld, but Pluto isn't a mean energy, and it can come across as mean. It can come across as like a destructive, destroying type of energy, because it will do that in certain times in our life. You know, that is the point of Pluto, is to disempower us, if you will, in different points in our life, so that we can actually empower ourselves again, but on a higher level, right? It's an energetic upgrade, if you will. Things are stagnant or they're not working anymore. You know, maybe we don't have the discipline that we thought, okay? The discipline really has to do with the Capricorn archetype. You know, Pluto, this Venus-Pluto conjunction, right, might destroy things in this area of our life, or relationship dynamics or things like that, so that we can actually really look at what's been underneath the surface, so that we can heal it and we can transform from this, okay? There's a lot of themes where, you know, yes, we could see ex relationships come back from this retrograde, but I feel like this energy more has to do with the power dynamics in our lives, and really looking and evaluating at those and where they show up in our relationships. But most importantly, the relationship that you have with your own self, okay? And I actually think that this is a time where people can actually step into a great depth of inner empowerment, that's really going to set them out on a really good pace for next year, okay? Especially starting in January, when we have this new Venus star point cycle, okay? The Venus star point cycle happens in really like 8-year cycles, okay? So the last one that happened was 4 years ago, and that was January 2018 in Capricorn, okay? And then the 8 years ago was 2014, okay? And you want to think about this cycle like the lunar phases, okay? So new moon and full moon, okay? And this is over multi year periods. So this conjunction that's happening on January, let me check real quick. January 9th at 18 degrees Capricorn. Very important. If you have any planets at 18 degrees in Capricorn, these are going to be highlighted. Or if you have any planets at 18 degrees in the cardinal signs, those are going to have an opposition if it's in Cancer, or a square if it's in Libra or Aries. Okay, so this is a new moon conjunction that's happening in January. So this is a fresh new beginning about all of these areas: finances, money, resources, the way that you're relating, your power dynamics, your coworker relationships, your personal relationships. Do you feel like you can emotionally express yourself in your relationships? This is actually a really important point too, because the Capricorn archetype wants to feel like it's emotionally secure to express itself, right? To express its inner reality, that polarity point, that Cancer. Okay. And it will often have a mastery over its emotions. Okay. But sometimes we don't develop that mastery over our emotions like we might want to, or have excelled to it to a certain point. Okay. So this is like a leveling up type of energy over the next 4 months. Definitely around your own self-worth and your ability and your effort and your strength to be able to establish this, right? And to be able to show up. I know who I am. I know my own worth. I know what I value. I know what I don't. I know what I want to build for the long haul. I know what I don't anymore. And Pluto's going to help you show this. Pluto is going to help reveal what is underneath the surface, what isn't working, okay? Where are these power dynamics not equal, okay, in your life, for instance? And think about this collectively, because we are going to be experiencing this on a bigger scale. How do we feel as a country, right? And this is a big question since the United States is entering their Pluto return. So we're going to be questioning our power dynamics around, our society, the way that our society is totally built upon, okay? And Pluto is going to help reveal things for us even deeper around this, right? And we're going to get 3 hits of this with Pluto. And we're going to have time to process, okay? During that retrograde period, it's a really good time to process this stuff. You don't have to take action necessarily, but you do want to be ruminating over this and deeply thinking about this. Like, what is the long-term goals for us collectively and then individually? And one of the conjunctions happens to be on Christmas, on December 24th, which I think might be the date of the Saturn-Uranus, the last and final Saturn-Uranus square that's happening for us as well, which is, December to me is like pretty intense. So this is the final square of this, right? So if you're not familiar with what's been happening with the Saturn-Uranus square, Saturn is an Aquarius, and it represents, our structures, our foundations, right? Very much similar to this Capricorn archetype, because the two have an affinity with each other, Capricorn and Saturn, but in a systematic way. Okay, our foundations and our structures, that's like in a system, right? And that has been getting a square, a tension aspect to Uranus and Taurus, which Uranus erratically shakes things up, right? It will dismantle things quickly. We don't even see it coming, right? Sudden changes, sudden shocks, earthquake kind of stuff, right? Fractures, right? And it happens instantaneously. So when it's in the sign of Taurus, it's a Venus ruled sign. It's about our resources, Taurus, resources, self-assurance, value, money, finances, food, supply chain, which is why we've been having some supply chain issues going on for us lately. So we have these conjunctions with Venus, okay? What do we value? With Pluto, bringing the dirt up from underneath the ground. Hades is bringing things up from hell for us to look at. Hey, look at this. This, I've been holding on to this for a while, but now you got to look at it. Now you got to rework it. You got to rebuild it in some type of way. You got to heal this, okay? And in the middle of that, we have the Saturn-Uranus square, the final one that's, going to bring us whatever random surprise it does, personally and collectively. So you might want to think about, because this is a whole cycle, right? Because this is like this is a new moon conjunction with the sun, Venus and the sun in January. Think about like what's changed over the last 4 years for you, all right, since January of 2018. What's different? What's different around your relationship dynamics? What have you been through? What have you learned? What's ready for a cycle to end so you can plant a seed for a new one to begin. Venus is really strong in Capricorn. Capricorn is a very strong sign, okay? It has perseverance, it has strength, okay? It has discipline, it has self-mastery. This will don't be afraid of this transit, because the strength is there. The fortitude is there to build something lasting. Okay. It's not something that should crumble away in a few weeks. Like, this is actually a big transit that you're going to put some time and effort in. Are you building a new business idea, for instance, with somebody? This theme has been showing up for me, something that's going to stand the test of time, something that's in it for the long haul. These kind of dynamics can show up, and they can be life-changing. They're like totally life-changing kind of themes. Okay. I also want you to think deeply, because Pluto is a deeply psychological and emotional planet that will disempower you and then repower you at one point. Disempowerment and empowerment. Okay. The two go hand in hand, because sometimes we have to let something die for us to have something new grow. Okay. And Capricorn is an emotional earth sign. So you could emotionally feel disempowered for a brief moment. Okay. You could feel like something has an achievement in your life, for instance, has been taken away from you, or an achievement, like something that you have recognition for instance, could be transmuted somehow, right? That dynamic could be flip-sided for a little bit. But where can you dig into that depth and look at the bigger picture and why this is happening, why this is showing up for you, and what is the true meaning behind that? Because that's really going to give you that self-mastery that you need during this whole entire Venus and Capricorn cycle. Okay. This will also help you emotionally integrate the sense of the direction that you want to head into. Okay. Because this is building something for the long haul. So this will help you deeply emotionally and psychologically be looking at these dynamics around self-worth, and where do you want to go with that? Like, how are you going to move forward with this for the long haul? Learning to process your emotions could be an important theme during this cycle, because Capricorn is this emotional sign, and you could be challenged. Okay. You could have an emotional reaction because your sense of authority, for instance, or the power that you thought you had, or you could feel emotionally blocked. For instance, you could feel like you want to shut down. You could go the other way, like go cold, get hardened, if you will. With this Capricorn, Venus, Pluto, all these energies kind of going on. And my suggestion is to not do that, to actually go into that Cancer, that polarity point, and have empathy for yourself, for other people, for all the situations coming up. Okay. Learn to have that compassion and that softness and that empathy, so you can actually harness that real strength, because there is strength in vulnerability, and it is really hard. I understand. I've been there. But you gain some type of strength and wisdom when you don't shut down and block yourself. Okay. Because the longer you continue to block yourself with whatever kind of energy or dynamic comes up for you, the longer it's going to take you to actually build something where you want to go. Whether that be a relationship, say like an ex comes back, for instance, and it wasn't that toxic of a relationship, and maybe there's been some time apart and you've both healed, and one person comes back and they're like, oh, listen, I've done this work, and they show you, like, I've mastered this, I've done the work here, I've had discipline, for instance, right? And then the other person is emotionally scared and blocked, because there's a maturity, there's a wisdom behind all this energy. Okay. And that's really hard to energetically upgrade. But I like to think of, like, whenever Pluto touches something in our chart, it's energetically upgrading us to the next level of understanding, of compassion, of that self-value and that self-worth. Okay. So I'm not saying like everybody can get back with their exes if their exes is coming back, but it could be a theme, for instance, and you really want to be able to gauge the whole picture. And that's why I say take your time during the retrograde time to process everything. It's not a time where you have to, make any major decisions, and you can think about it. You can see where you feel, And if you feel like the foundation can be emotionally stable and secure for you, then that that Venus Sun conjunction in January, which is like a new moon and a seed being planted, would be a good time to start something again, okay, to work on something again. But you really want to first always take care of yourself and understand that you have to hold up your boundaries while Venus is in Capricorn too, and while Pluto's in Capricorn. Anything with Capricorn, right? We're understanding where our boundaries are. Is somebody crossing our boundaries? And why are we allowing them to cross our boundaries, right? Do we not respect ourselves enough yet? Is that part of the issue, right? There's a reflection quality within this whole cycle, because Venus in Libra, for instance, one of her other rulerships, Venus in Taurus, Venus in Libra, those are her rulers. But the Libra side of Venus wants to have you reflect on how relationship dynamics are showing up for you. And what does that mirror back to you, right? Like the relationships that you're attracting, what does that say about how you feel inside of yourself? So this overall, this whole cycle is really good for you to truly learn how to respect yourself and to honor yourself, to energetically upgrade yourself, okay, to know your own self-value and self-worth, and be able to show up in relationships and partnerships, in your work, in your career, anything in the world, right? This will empower you deeply and greatly if you work with this energy. Okay, so like I said, look for where Capricorn is in your chart, because this house is going to be ignited deeply by this energy. That area in your chart is going to be the environment that's highlighting where this energy is coming up for you. And definitely make sure that you're tapping into empathy and compassion, and being compassionate with yourself and with others during this process too, because we're all going through it. Okay, but it can be deeply empowering. So thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing and liking my video. And please, I really encourage you to share this with other people. Share this on your social media if you can. It might reach out and help somebody you never know that needs to hear this message as well. And it helps my channel grow. So, and I want to continue to make videos for you guys. I very much love my YouTube channel. With that being said, you have unlimited potential, my cosmic warriors. If you ever want to book a reading with me, you can do so off my website, www.astroroots.com. I'm always available for reading. Please follow my Instagram. I'm highly active on there at the Scenic Route Astrology. And yeah, I'll be back again soon. We have a Sagittarius eclipse coming up. It's really great energy. December is a wild month, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how the collective is going to shift from all of this. All right, everybody, take care. Bye.